Hey guys, what's up? It's Schla coming back to ya with another episode of Walks with Schla. And something I always knew this, but I guess it's more evident now. It's more evident now that I heard it back especially now on the 0 decibel setting. It's pretty good. I definitely could probably have the mic a little bit closer to my face, but even more important than that, I should be talking basically as loud as I can, because it does just end up making the recording better quality. I do think that the mic performance is probably worth it. The good recording that worked out well, it did sound pretty good. I think particularly how my voice sounds is actually better. It's not necessarily clearer, but it sounds more bodied. It sounds like there's more depth to my voice with this microphone as opposed to the one built into the 16 Pro Max. But that one on the 16 Pro Max is absolutely clear, and I almost wonder if it's slightly clearer and better, but I'm not going to go that far. I haven't really listened enough back and forth, side by side. You know, it's been a lot. I'm hoping I have not heard that static issue in the last recording I listened to, but it could have popped up during the recording because I'm not listening to them through. So I guess that's something I'm slightly stressed about. Stressed. I don't know why I'm talking like that. Like, what? That's not the master communicator. That's something I'm slightly stressed about. But it is what it is. Like I said, I think it was because I had the fur ball lifted so that I could see the screen better, but that is not worth it because I don't know. And I don't know that it really blocks the wind as well either. And that could have been why. So yeah, it's just the screen gets like covered up quite a bit, I guess. I don't really know how to remedy that. I actually wish the microphone just stuck out, I think. I'm not really sure. Because because it does make sense for it to be angled towards me, because then I can very easily see the time that it is. And I guess that's an advantage that you don't get if, but then, I mean, here's the other thing with this, like, obviously me walking around out here, there's not a lot of people around usually, so I guess that's a good thing. But I'm talking very loud, so it is a little bit weird. I also want to try to get used to, again, walking faster, because I've kind of been walking slower, and that's kind of stupid because it's definitely healthier to get a bit more of a workout in. And my running is still pretty off, so I haven't really been able to be running as much as I'd like. So hopefully I can get back into that. I mean, it just gets hard. If it wasn't working, I'd probably do it, but work makes it difficult. So, yeah. Guess I could run during my break. We could try runs with Schla. It's just that you really, I don't know, getting all like sweaty and stuff for work it's just not a good thing. Not a good thing. Anyways, I think that's enough about the microphone. So I'm pretty happy with it, but I think its background noise rejection is really not as good as I thought. I guess I can look into more further, like, its degree of background noise rejection, because that might explain some things. I'm not really sure. It's kind of weird. I thought it was a directional mic, and it probably is, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not really sure what it is. It doesn't seem that directional, as there's a lot of outdoor sounds that I still hear, even though I know I try to like keep the microphone facing away from the road and all this stuff. I do all these things to try to, you know, get the quality better, but I do think just talking as loud as possible is ultimately the perfect recipe for a high quality recording. And I guess in the car it's the same thing. Like, I probably should just get used to talking very loud, but I don't know. I mean, the car, it's a bit more of a relaxed setting, but it would sound better, I'm sure, because again, if you have the background noise at the same volume, but the primary noise you want to capture at a higher volume, it will sound better. Then we also have to factor in the off chance that the gain gets messed up, and then that would kind of ruin everything. But yeah, I think there's a lot that's interesting about the effort and the lengths that I go through to do this stuff. You know, I think like a lot of people who would want to talk, they might not have the like technical desire to try to get things right, try to get things perfect. It's definitely some OCD. And I just don't think everybody has that. Like, a lot of times I'd have to imagine there are a lot of people with a talk show or something, and they just have like a team of people doing it. They don't really have to figure all this stuff out by themselves. And even with myself, it's like, it's totally possible even for car rides with Schla, I would have just kept using the built-in mic and the phone. I believe a lot of people on YouTube just do that, you know? And that's what I'm saying. What seems so twisted is there's so many people who are YouTubers and who are making money, and I'm more talented than them. Like, in terms of getting a lot of the technical stuff right, I would get like a better sound quality, and a lot of times too, I may be even a little bit more knowledgeable, it seems like. And so it's a shame that I don't have my show that I'm commentating on, you know? Because I just think my knowledge seems broader than a lot of these people's. I don't know, especially when it comes to details. But I guess being extra detailed, it doesn't typically matter for a talk show, because most people, it's usually about the humor or about the guy's voice or their personality. It's not really about like whether they dot all their I's or cross all their T's or whatever. And I suppose my personality is not humor oriented enough to be palatable. I don't know. But like I said, I mean, I'm just doing what I can with what I got. And I figure, like, I have these breaks at my job, I might as well try as hard as I can to do this. But it's pretty amazing how we got here, because just a couple months ago, I really didn't want to do this. And I know I've explained it before, and how we got here was because I eventually just got used to using GPT, and how overcoming the transcription thing, because I used to hate doing the transcription. I used to only like typing things, but then I overcame that. Realized, especially for myself, that it's actually better, you know, much faster. And then so it kind of eased myself into getting used to talking into the phone in public. And then now, before you know it, it's not really such a stressful or nervous thing anymore. I mean, I guess I can still be a little bit concerned or self-conscious of people potentially looking at me and judging me and wondering what I'm doing. But I don't know. It is what it is, you know. But this system works. For some reason, just holding the phone, I seem to like it a lot more than seem to like it a lot more than walking around with the headset thing. The headset thing's great for the car, but you know, for just doing these shorter recordings here, this actually makes a tremendous amount more sense. So yeah, it's been working out, and it's good because it seems like the timing is like super perfect, because I just started doing this pretty much, and then the brake fluid issue popped up on my car. So it's interesting, you know, it's very interesting how we got to this point. And now, like, because that's what I was worried about, I'm like, hold up, you know, what about my content? I'm not going to be able to do my content, but I'm actually going to be fine now. Which, besides, I'm actually like way overestimating things, since I've been kind of not feeling myself and a little bit overwhelmed. I just decided to push it in terms of the uploads. So there's going to be a pretty large gap between what happens and what's actually posted, which is fine. I mean, it would obviously be super cool if things were uploaded like as they were recorded, but that's just not going to happen. And so since it's not going to happen, I might as well set up everything to be in advance. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm saying. To set everything up in advance, I might as well just milk that as much as I can, because it just makes things less stressful and more convenient. But I got a lot of work to do. I still haven't actually finished everything yet, which is why I'm trying to give myself some space to not only get the videos done, but also to post. Like, I just started autopiloting. Remember, I do that a lot. I'm so used to talking, and then so I meant like getting the titles, putting everything into the AI and then titling stuff. I forget to switch hands, so then I end up doing it wrong. Like, I just had the microphone facing the road that whole time, and then now I don't have it like that anymore, so that's not really so great, but what can you do, right? What can you do? Now, anyways, what I actually wanted to talk about today, and I don't know if this is true across all people, but I think it is. And I don't know if it's some kind of divine coincidence, but it just seems like basically every single person I talk to, they just say like, it's hard for me to talk about my feelings. I can't do it. I can't find the word. I guess I'm not trying to be mean. I mean, maybe I am, but I'm not really trying to be mean about it. It's just, this is like what I deal with. And I guess what's very frustrating for me is people always say that, but I usually do get what they're saying like pretty easily. So I don't know if it is probably just a mixture. Like my comprehension skills are probably just higher. So like, even if I'm not given like a perfect response, I can just grab it and comprehend it pretty well, especially when it comes to those kind of things like interpersonal opinions and feelings. It's actually really interesting. I don't grab a lot of like surface level simple things. There are some puns or certain jokes that I'm actually really slow to get, and I always thought that was interesting because, again, I'm not stupid, but it seems like if something is surface level and it's like a pun or a joke, I just miss it a lot, or it takes me like a very long time to notice it. But again, if somebody is giving me fragmented words and saying they're having trouble expressing themselves and all that, I'm able to take that information and just figure it out. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I get what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, boom. So it's weird. It's like my brain, it's almost like so slow. It's very good at taking in things that are slow. Conversations, words, communication that are at depth. It's very good at extrapolating that and processing it. But if something is very quick and it's just like a pun or a quick joke or like a quick play on words, I don't always grab it. And then I seem like kind of stupid because it's slow, but it's because my brain is just always trying to extrapolate and like really like dig, and so that's not a bad thing, but it does make it kind of awkward to interact with people because that's obviously, most people don't function in that way, so it gets to be frustrating. It does. Gets to be pretty frustrating. A lot of people love to interact with these quick things, and if that was where my social appetite was, I'd be very happy, because that's what people love. People love quick jokes and quick things, and nobody really wants to be vulnerable, and when they are, it's always like difficult for them, and it's just particularly frustrating because for myself, it's what am I getting at? Oh my gosh. For myself, it's frustrating because it's so easy. Like, it's so easy for me to be vulnerable and just open with a person and just talk about my feelings. And I don't understand why that's something that nobody can do. I think it's strange to me because I just don't understand. So I guess it's something I take for granted, and it's something that I have an advantage in, but it's like hardly even an advantage because it just makes it feel like nobody's really able to listen to me that well. Or it's not like, I guess people can listen, it's that it feels like people can't really reciprocate that well. That's what it is. People can never really reciprocate my level of verbosity. I wonder how to say that. That just kind of threw me off because you could say it in two different ways. Yeah, so it's very isolating. It's not like, oh, you're great. Like, I do know myself, and I think, especially as I've gotten older, my comprehension of myself is fairly high. I know what I want out of the world, and I know what would make me happy. I know what makes me happy, what makes me unhappy. And any friendship, relationship, or family, like, I just notice when I talk to people, they have no idea. They don't have a clue of who they are or what they want or anything like that. And that's just very unnerving to me. I mean, it makes me uncomfortable that you have people who have a consciousness and they hardly know themselves. They just have these very vague concepts of what they want or who they are. And the truth is, I don't know. I mean, it's like the things I like to buy or the tech. I understand that that's a part of me, but it's not a part of me in the same sense, I guess. Is that a good way to put it? It's like that stuff is not really me. It's just however my mind is manifest. And I think that is something that's difficult for people to wrap their heads around, perhaps, is that idea that, you have these things that a lot of people are so, like, okay, let me try to extrapolate this, because I'm running very low on time and I'm trying to think. for instance, like if I like vanilla more than chocolate, or if I like chocolate more than vanilla, that's arbitrary. That could change. That does not really matter for personality. If I say I like technology a little bit deeper, because I always love to buy tech and I love getting new tech, but I'm saying I have the awareness that that is not really me, because if I was born in a completely different circumstance, let's say I was born in the Middle Ages, the Dark Ages, whatever, no tech at all, I obviously wouldn't like tech, so that's not really me, but I would be the same person. Well, actually, technically, yeah, this is when it gets complicated. I would be a different person, obviously, but my core reactions to things is the true self. And I'm saying I don't think people see it that way. I think people really see themselves and what they want as, they don't really think about it. They just act on it. You know, people are advertised to, and they like whatever they witness, not necessarily, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like people obviously they just don't know themselves very well, and it's very unnerving for me, I suppose. So yeah, I guess that's where I'm at, right? I guess that's where I'm at, and I just wanted to talk about that. If I remember, or if I don't have anything better to talk about, I will probably continue with this topic in the next Walk Switch Law. So I guess you'll have to stay tuned to see if that actually happens or not, because I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it didn't. And yeah, I'm just kind of upset now because I'm noticing some scratches on this phone, and I don't know how they got there, because yeah, that's kind of frustrating. I hope those didn't just happen now that I'm using it. Wow, that kind of, I mean, they're not very deep, but I always like notice that, and I think, how did that happen? Because I keep it covered. I don't know. Just seems like glass can scratch so easily. Me personally, it would be better if they just made it harder, because I don't really drop my phones very often, but they do softer because, you know, it's better for most humans, because a lot of humans drop their things, but I usually don't. Anyways, too much to get into now. Bottom line, it's been Schla, and now it's time to buy Schla. So, see you, Schla.